Hiya, and welcome back to Moonlight Castle, the game that teaches us that. Clyde, can I have your hand in marriage? I don't have a ring. I don't have a ring, or a venue, or a life. But I have a USB Type A to USB Type C converter. Which means that you can now plug your USB flash drive into your fucking iPhone 15 or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I went to the candles right away and noticed one in particular giving a soft blue glow instead of orange like the others. They were nice, comforting, and giving off a positive energy, but the frightening question behind their existence remained. Clyde walked up to me, gave the candles a brief look, and then covered his mouth to hold in a gasp. 8. There are 8 candles. Yes! We have eyes. The difference is my eyes are a fucking soulless void. Don't look Theta in the eyes, or you'll lose your soul. There were 8. They were scattered across the table, so it didn't hit me right away, but it's true. Exactly 8. The same as us. They're welcoming us. What's the problem? I didn't like that at all. Who was welcoming us? How could he smile at me like that after saying something so creepy? Did you put these here? Liam raised a brow, then laughed at the question.
Of course I did. I came here alone before you guys and prepared these candles in advance to give you a little fright. Such a jokester I am!
Dude, that's a legit question. You could just say no.
Forgive me if it gets on my nerves when everyone sees something strange and always points their fucking finger at me.
I knew coming here was a mistake. I'll look for a way out and come back if I find it. I understand how you feel, but arguing won't help. I'll search with you, so just calm down.
If Ryan goes with you, you can explore just fine. Clyde and Patrice should stay here and wait for us to return.
When and where do we meet up?
Here in 1 hour. I'll try to be done fast.
Wasn't I supposed to return this book?
I'll come back for it later. We don't know if the map is reliable anymore, so just stay here.
Sure, I suppose. Answer me, Liam. What was that smell about, and why can't I sense it? Liam turned in his direction, then fidgeted a little bit, wondering if he could give Blake the answer he wanted to hear, but eventually gave in to his demand.
It's the smell of death. That unmistakable stench of decomposing bodies.
I felt like throwing up. Of course I couldn't have understood what that was. Oh yeah? That doesn't answer my question in full. Liam was lost in his thoughts, struggling to admit the truth, afraid to say it. Say it or we're all leaving right now.
That would get you killed. You saw it.
I saw a bunch of coincidences. There's no proof anything you said is real. I could see Clyde clutching his bag tighter to his chest. Blake. He wanted to chime in the conversation only for Blake to snap back at him. Stay out of this! Liam sighed, visible regret painted all over his face for what he was about to reveal. Why is Ryan a whore? Wait, is he a whore? I mean, I know he's clingy, but is he really a whore?
Mediums are the only ones who can sense it.
Pardon me? The wolf grunted, displaying skepticism. We all looked at each other in surprise, seeking further approval, with Dylan being the only one unfazed by that revelation. Do you vouch for him, then? Blake also noticed that and asked the crocodile. Yes. Everything he said is true. The wolf backed away and the room fell quiet. Dylan had no reason to lie to us since it wouldn't benefit him in any way.
I hope you're happy, Blake! You pushed your friends one step closer to the edge.
Fuck off, Liam! Blake, I didn't... His pleading was in vain. The wolf left the room and ditched us all. Guess that's my cue. Unfortunately, I'll see you guys later. Ryan looked like he had something to say, but didn't get the chance to do so. We should let those two know when and where to meet up before losing them.
Yeah, you're right. Can you do it for me? I want to discuss a couple of things with Clyde and Russell first.
Liam showed him his phone to confirm the time displayed on the screen.
Come back to this room in 1 hour. That should be plenty for you to do your job.
Dylan gave me a quick look and began walking away. Come. We stepped into a strange silence, the kind you shouldn't be able to hear in our situation. Ryan left, like, a minute ago. Where is he? Dylan narrowed his eyes as he stared at the wooden floor underneath our feet. Stay close. Don't go too far. He resumed walking, moving deeper inside. The pavement creaked ever so slightly each step we took, reminding us that this silence was basically impossible to achieve. Ryan didn't have enough time to leave the area, since running would make enough noise for us to notice. Even if I'd like to think he chased after Blake, it didn't seem possible to do so without leaving a clue behind. I didn't want to be worried, but it was getting harder for me not to. I was hoping to get this resolved once we entered the lounge, but... Dylan's eyes flicked back to me, but he wasn't truly looking at me. He was looking behind me, in the distance, at the hallway we just left a few moments ago. Shit! That was enough to materialize my worries into reality. What? What's wrong? Dylan settled his gaze on me and didn't say anything. I can't feel them anymore. At first, I didn't understand what he meant. I was told so many things in such a short time that I wasn't going to miss something on the way. Then I remembered about his talent and that strange connection he had with blood. That's not possible. Dylan's silence was proving me wrong. I don't feel anyone anymore. We literally just left and there isn't another path for them to take. Is the smell that distracting? Dylan narrowed his eyes, angered by my comment, but I wasn't trying to be offensive. I was trying to rationalize the situation with what little knowledge I had available. Else I'd surely freak out. That garbage we were smelling earlier has already died down, or haven't you noticed? Forgive me if I was experiencing sensory overload and didn't notice that detail right away. I want to go back. Bad idea. What do you expect me to do then? You essentially told me our friends are gone. I can't just let that go. And what will you do afterward? He was so confident that the idea of being wrong didn't cross his mind at all. They're not dead. But they're not where they're supposed to be. Liam specifically asked us to pair up in this exploration, remember? I do, but he gave us quite a shitty reason. Curses have rules. At first it looks chaotic, but if you pay attention you can find patterns. Fine, I'll play along. Give me your reason. Curses can manipulate people by playing on their feelings, secrets, and flaws, and that's why we're restricted to pairs. Having two people is ideal. You can encourage each other, communicate, and create a mental barrier to keep evil away. You can't do that when you're alone. Mediums might have a higher tolerance, but we're not immune. Groups of 3 or more might create an imbalance between people. Someone might start feeling jealous or neglected, and whoever's the least important member will absorb all the negativity. No wonder Liam didn't explain this. I'm gonna take a guess and say that the castle itself divided us from the others, but why? Wouldn't it be more convenient to let us stick together? You're right about that. I also think it's weird, but we don't know why the castle would do this. Why can't I stop yawning? Why can't I stop? I'm worried about Ryan. I could feel the disappointment leaking from that cold stare of his. You serious? Out of all the people you could be worried about, Ryan? Was it so wrong of me to be worried about my best friend? I felt embarrassed regardless. Who else? Liam and Russell can handle it. Therese and Clyde won't leave that room tonight. Blake's sharp senses should be useful here. Those two are a strong pair. He walked closer and flicked my forehead when I wasn't looking at him. Think about yourself first, idiot. If you don't keep yourself safe, you won't be able to help anyone later on. I didn't reply and just covered the area he touched. The crocodile unzipped his bag and took Liam's book out to browse it. Heard a few frustrated grunts, then he dumped it back in the bag. Finding the basement will be a pain in the ass now. Dylan resumed walking, and before I could join him, I felt a weird sensation entering my head. It immediately triggered a terrible headache as a response, just like yesterday. The crocodile froze and turned around, and only at that point he noticed me holding my head in pain. Stay behind me. The crocodile dug through his pockets and armed himself with a pair of knives, followed by making a combat stance. I'll take care of it. This feeling was getting harder for me to adjust, and I couldn't give Dylan the attention he needed. I felt something shifting around. It was moving in this very room we were standing in, but I couldn't see it. until that pain gathered in one spot and I faced the ceiling, pleading for it to end already. Dylan was one step ahead, already looking up, his eyes following something I couldn't track down. He grinned, a celebratory grunt soon followed by a knife throw. It traveled all the way to the ceiling in a straight line. Impressive and terrifying. That kind of attack could have been fatal to a living person. That was the disappointed face of someone who had just missed their killing shot. I looked up again, and the knife was lodged into a wall, its blade going almost all the way in. Your skill is worthy of praise. A voice spoke, catching me off guard. I didn't have a point of origin and simply echoed throughout the room. But it's not enough to kill me. Holy shit, was this supposed to be a ghost? Say it to my face, coward! Dylan yelled back, growing more impatient with each passing second nothing was happening. You weren't supposed to come back. You will regret this. Dylan grinned, barely able to contain the urge to laugh in its face. Now I'll make sure to add this one to my list. Then everything went quiet. My head also calmed down, a clear sign that this ghost was now gone. Why can't I stop yawning? Body, can you please make me stop yawning? That would be greatly appreciated. I would very much appreciate it. You good? Dylan extended his hand and I took it to get myself back on my feet. I guess so. His response was delayed by something hitting the floor with a clinging sound. It was a knife he had thrown earlier. That didn't look like it would come off. It shouldn't have fallen. I could feel resentment in those words. He returned it to me. Dylan grabbed the knife and pocketed it. That thing, what was it, a ghost? You could say that. I picked up on some uncertainty. Was he sugarcoating it for me, or did he genuinely not know for sure? This curse might be far more complex than we anticipated. Hiya. See, I slept earlier. I'm gonna take my hair down real quick. I'm gonna keep the headphones on, but I'm taking my hair down. Which, there's a lot. There we go. Damn hair tie. I'm gonna break you. Maybe. Probably not. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that hair tie. Exactly! I could wrestle an alligator. I could communicate with the shadow demons living in the kitchen. I could cook a Thanksgiving feast. The possibilities are endless at night. I don't wanna sleep. Sleep is weak. Sleep is actually very fucking pleasant. I fucking love sleep. This curse might be far more complex than we anticipated. I've barely started picking up the basics. We're going upstairs. Chasing him down sounds more exciting. I thought you wanted to find the basement. Hey, I already drew Magnus, but if you want to draw Magnus, go for it. More Magnus for the people. All the Magnus for the people. He's by the people, for the people. And all the cookies you could steal, too. Exactly. I thought you wanted to find the basement. Yeah, I still do. He left it at that and moved away. Did he not understand what that meant, or whatever? Is your concept of exploration based on following these random whims? Dylan grunted a confused noise. I really shouldn't have to take more work to decipher what those sounds mean. Hear me out. The basement should be underneath the castle, yet we're going upwards. Do you see the issue now? Dylan snorted in response, only for me to grow mildly infuriated. What? What's so funny about it? You're thinking about this all wrong. Take your common sense and destroy it. Going anywhere can lead to the basement. He kept going up while I stopped in my tracks to process that sentence. Anywhere? I chased after him because he wasn't waiting for me. I'll explain about doors now, so let's see if you get it. Ah, shit, is this turning into Portal 2? Is fucking GLaDOS about to pop up and be like, the cake is completed and this is secretly Portal 3. We're exploring Cave Johnson's mansion. We're about to see the lemons. We're about to get killed by the lemons. I'm putting my hair in a ponytail. His whole caked up, though. That cake isn't a lie. A playful smile finished that sentence. The doors, none of them ever opened for us. At least that was what I recalled seeing. It won't open if nothing's behind it. So they built tons of fake doors. I felt another wave of disappointment from him. I could hear his warning about ditching common sense all over again. Wrong! I mean, the frame and everything is fake, right? No, you idiot, they all have a chance of leading to a random room. That didn't make any sense to me. Oh, thank you, Amethyst. I was about to do that. Thank you. I was about to ban him. That didn't make any sense to me. You've lost me. He gave me an annoyed grunt, bothered by my inability to grasp something that to him was simple, but in reality wasn't. Think about the greenhouse for a second. Remember its entrance, those vines surrounding the door. I nodded. Up to that point, everything made sense. Now imagine opening a completely different door and finding yourself in the greenhouse again. The greenhouse can be reached from any door in the castle if they're connected to it. When a connection is created, the door opens. If there's nothing, then it stays closed. Are you describing a portal? He shrugged, content with the progress I was displaying. Kinda. Portals usually connect two places with a fixed destination you can't change. Curses can do whatever they want, though. The destination is always changing. That's crazy. Are you capable of identifying these doors? Do they look any different while active? He thought about it. Maybe the answer was harder to pinpoint than being a simple yes or no. No, I personally can't. Alice told Liam's sister could. That's why she was really good at this job. So, her death wasn't just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, what's her name? We can't keep going with Liam's sister all the time. Oh, hiya. You never told me and I never asked. Yeah, that sounded like Dylan. Crocodile stopped and blocked the path with his hand. He immediately hushed me before I could get a word in. Oh, shit. Her name's Dylan? Honestly, Dylan is such a pretty name. Dylan is such a pretty name. Oh shit, I was just reminded of a show's existence. I'm getting sidetracked. I wanna make sure that it's correct. Yes! Yes. Yes, I found it. I'm gonna watch that later tonight. It's funny and also kind of offensive, but I'm gonna keep that up. The crocodile stopped and blocked the path with his hand. He immediately hushed me before I could get a word in. There's a lot going on here. What is it? Oh my god, is the dinosaur back? Is the dino back? Yes! Yes! Noad's dance is back! Yay! What is it? My head began spinning right after asking that question, and I got my answer. Is this normal? Why does it hurt so much? You look fine. Want to compare years of practice against 2 days? You'll get used to it soon enough. Fuck, that was easy to say. This kind of pain was paralyzing me. I hated feeling like this. I never thought headaches could be so debilitating. Try to focus and take the opportunity to learn instead. I really believe this to be the worst possible time to do so. No, I'm serious. The pain you're experiencing is different from the one you felt in the lounge. All I could tell was the pain itself being weaker, but that didn't give me much to go on. Pain is pain, and I'd rather not feel it at all. It can't be helped. Ghosts don't do it on purpose. It's their aura you're feeling. So, every ghost will naturally knock me out on sight. Is that it? Dylan laughed at me. The funniest thing about this is that only mediums are affected. People like Ryan can easily ignore everything. I hate you so much right now. Now I'll make this short because I need to start working too. This entity is neutral. That means you'll stop feeling bad soon. Then he turned around and walked deeper into the corridor. He did get that bit right, though. My pain was fading when I found myself very confused about it. Was this pain, like, a warning? Did the pain level indicate how dangerous it was? Hey, you there! Come here! He screamed into the void, which caught me off guard. Shouldn't have been surprised by that, considering all the garbage I saw until now. Then something even crazier happened as I walked closer. Hi! How are you? Can you not be here? That would be greatly appreciated. A ghost. It was literally floating in front of Dylan, emanating a soft blue glow. Wow. I wasn't ready for that at all. Is this a cake or a ghost? Is it real or cake? I'm looking for the basement. Show me the way. He was striking such a normal conversation with it, kinda. More like he was bossing it around. Danger. The ghost spoke, but only a single word came out. His monotone voice and the long pauses in between reminded me of that feeling of fatigue, similar to what I experienced at the end of a school day. Is that a problem? I couldn't discern any actual concern from the ghost, but he surely didn't need to have any for Dylan. Danger. Where was his face? I'd been looking at it for a while and struggled to see anything behind those circular shapes in the single color. His entire body was transparent and I could see through it, but a little distorted, like water. I'll return the favor and give you some soul. Some more obscure knowledge just dropped. Soul, was that meant to be taken literally? The thing that was supposed to be inside of us? Fun fact. This is specifically for people who either were previously involved with the Christian church or are currently involved with the Christian church. The whole, when you die, Jesus comes down and takes your soul to heaven. I thought the soul was an internal organ. I genuinely thought that the soul, the human soul, was an internal organ that glowed blue. Don't judge me, I was 8 years old. I whole ass thought that Jesus came down with a scalpel and extracted the soul like an internal organ and just flew away with it. I genuinely thought that. I thought that for like 2 years. That the soul was an internal organ. A glowing organ sounds kind of... But in reality, if your organs are glowing, you should probably go to the doctor. Soul? Was that meant to be taken literally? The thing that was supposed to be inside of us? Well, this ghost was literally a soul, though. I didn't understand. He floated closer, giving me that feeling that he was considering the offer. Then he noticed me hiding further away while
It's time to drink water.
And went my way instead.
It's time to drink
Full
water.
of glowing liquids. No!
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
I was a dumb kid. I was not a smart kid. At that moment, I felt his eyes examining me. How could something that didn't exist make my skin crawl so much? I obviously freaked out. Slow down, where are you going? Dylan jumped in between us, but I had a feeling the ghost could just phase through him if he wanted. So... Crocodile raised a brow in confusion. Yes, I meant mine. Was that motherfucker really about to jump me because of misunderstanding? I distanced myself from them, not really in the mood for another surprise. Okay. I actually felt a sliver of disappointment in that monotone response. I really didn't like this ghost. Dylan just shoved his arm into the ghost, making sure it was completely engulfed in that blue ectoplasm or whatever. Thank you, I feel much better now. His speech and voice suddenly improved and now he sounded more alive. Yeah, that should give you another week. Mind explaining this to a normal person now? I was growing tired of guessing. Sorry for scaring you. I thought you would share your soul. Why? I was supposed to ask that. His soul is greater than yours. He wouldn't feel any fatigue by giving up a tiny portion of it. Dylan's face twisted in response, and I felt some gratification. That meant I was better than him at the soul thingy, right? Wait, fatigue? I hoped this was a temporary reaction, not something permanent. Nothing I can't handle, I'm fine. He didn't look tired, so I believed him, but I wanted help too. I've done absolutely nothing so far. I need to remind you that the path ahead is dangerous. The cult is strangely active tonight. The cult? I wanted more information, but I'd been meddling a lot. I'd get the opportunity to ask later. I can clear the path just fine. Your job is to show me the way. His cockiness was on full display. I don't mind. What's your name? My name. His grief increased. That soul clearly lacked the ability to contain his emotions, and because of me, they leaked everywhere. We're gonna call you Blue. Short for Floaty Blue Motherfucker. Are you stupid? Why are you asking him that? Dylan grabbed my jacket and pulled me out of the way. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I was trying to be polite. I don't remember. He's a lost soul. The curse slowly strips them of everything they've ever owned, even memories. I gasped, feeling mortified. That was a cruel punishment, a tragic torture. The thought of losing my memories, my personality, and being unable to realize that was terrifying. I'm so sorry. It's fine. I knew it was a lie, but that was all he could say. Just lead the way. Dylan waited for the ghost to float ahead, then he continued, this time referring to me. And don't talk to the lost soul! It was like he's scolding a child. Fine. There's one up ahead. I was both intrigued and worried about this cult. If they were just ghosts, they wouldn't need a different name, right? Shit, they might be real people. What was Dylan going to do then? I held my breath as the cultist entered our vision. Hi! I'm trying to pop my ear. I don't know. But, hi! How are you? I wasn't exactly sure of what I was looking at. This entity didn't look like a ghost. In fact, my headache didn't react to them at all. A long black coat fully covered their body, giving me zero clues as to what could be hiding underneath. That mask, though, I clearly remembered that doctor's mask. I saw Liam holding it 2 days ago. It almost looked like everything was stemming from that mask, judging by the way the clothing folded onto itself. That was all I could get before Dylan equipped his knives and ran straight at it. Holy shit, he was going to... My thought wasn't even finished before he cut right through that guy. And then it disappeared, leaving nothing behind. What just happened? Thank God they didn't die like normal people. Shit, did he actually kill them? He can see their core. The ghost commented out loud, almost in awe after witnessing those killer moves. Their core? He walked back to us, proud of a job well done, but somewhat unsatisfied. Any ghost can be killed if you strike at their core. Was that really okay to do then? Can't we talk this out and get a peaceful crossing? Cultists are lost souls that have completely succumbed to the curse. They have nothing left and can only obey their leader to maintain that form. Okay, that helped a lot. Dylan seemed to be hunting down this supposed leader. Oh. You did that guy a favor. I'd rather be put down as well than becoming a puppet. My mind sent a shiver down my spine as I got another alert, different and less painful. Dylan instantly turned around and brought his knives back. Shit! Thought the fucker didn't get a chance to call for help! He grinned, now having lost that disappointment from earlier. Good for me! That one wasn't even a decent warm-up. They were starting to consider Dylan a serious threat now. Each one of them wielded a different weapon just to trouble the crocodile further. But he just grinned in response without a sliver of fear or hesitation, laughing in the face of danger. Losers go first! He taunted, waiting for them to strike instead of diving in like before. Arrogance or strategy? It was hard to say looking at him. The cultist on the left took his offer and, with the sword in hand, aimed at Dylan's chest. Dylan used one of his knives to clash against its blade, guiding and throwing off its trajectory just to expose the cultist and hit him with the other knife. Before he could do that, another cultist charged him, armed with a spear. He waited for the same opportunity to strike when the crocodile looked the most vulnerable. Another laughter followed suit. His eyes were keeping track of what was happening around him, and he seemingly predicted this possibility. He placed the other knife against the sword and completely outpowered that cultist. I thought he'd go for the kill, but he instead led him against the spear to block both at the same time. Then I noticed that their bodies weren't fully physical and phased through each other. Only their weapons seemed to have actual tangibility. That must have been the reason for that strange maneuver. Wow. It was surreal for me to witness this. He was in his element. I could see it in his movements and those fleeting fragments of happiness he showed when the metals clashed against each other. The fuck just happened? That confidence and strength almost got me to forget we were in a dangerous situation where I couldn't help at all. Crocodile, now in an advantageous position, destroyed one of the cultists. It also faded away like the other one, leaving behind just the sword he had been using. Run! The ghost shouted at me, and when I realized why he had said that, it was already too late. The third cultist was now standing in front of me, holding an axe in his hands. Fuck! Dylan tried getting to me, but by doing so, he would expose himself to that spear and couldn't get to me without harming himself. Get out of the way, motherfucker! He yelled at him, now growing impatient, seemingly struggling to get closer to finish the job. I wanted to turn around and run like crazy, but... Don't run, you need to look at him or you'll die! Shit, I kinda understood the concept, but I was absolutely terrified and could barely keep a rational thought going. I slowly moved backward, trying to gain more space without breaking eye contact. Use this! Something landed at my feet and the metallic sound made on impact clued me on what he wanted me to do. He's going to fuck me up! I had a feeling I'd get axed the moment I tried picking it up, but if I were right, that meant I could dodge it. We could just keep the stare contest going forever. I don't mind. I have to admit that it felt weird. He was giving me a lot of breathing room, maybe too much. Wait, the way he's holding his weapon, there's something weird about it. Looked different from before, from when he was fighting Dylan. I didn't have time for this. I tried to pick up the sword. The moment I tried, something completely unexpected happened. He swung the axe in my face like a bat and sent me tumbling. My body was prepared for a killing move, not a beating like that. It fucking hurt. I touched my face, checking to see if everything was still there. Blood dripped from my nose, and I didn't have anything to plug it. The cultist approached me. The pain I was feeling, the sword I couldn't take, his threatening presence, it all overwhelmed me. Is it too late to talk things out? He was about to hit me again. The last cultist suddenly dropped his weapon and disappeared. I watched Dylan towering over me with a stoic expression. Can you stand? I quickly looked behind him, and there was just a lone spear in the distance. He got rid of them all. Yeah, thanks. He looked frustrated, and deep down I knew it was because of me. I was dead weight and trying to keep me safe was too dangerous. Ignoring the fact that I liked being protected, this showed a softer side to him I usually wouldn't see. I'm sorry. I'm trying, but it's clearly not enough to keep up with the situation. Oh, hiya, welcome. First time you're here, welcome. You know what? I gotta say this. Mr. Developer. I gotta say this. It took me the entire time that we were playing this game, it took me the entire fucking time to figure out that your Discord profile picture was a panda. It took me that long to figure it out. I whole ass thought it was a bulldog for, like, the entire time. It was last night. Sorry, I'm trying, but it's clearly not enough to keep up with the situation. Did you bump your head or something? He laughed at me, then reached for my hand and pulled me up. Wasn't when the cultist bonked you in the face? That was hilarious to watch. I knew he was worried and I knew he was lying. Stop messing around, I hate you, stop. Did exactly what I told you. Yeah, you failed. But I don't care. He was so unfair to me and my heart, toying with my feelings like that. One should give praise immediately, not after slapping me in the face. I'm still angry that one managed to get to you in the first place. I didn't think they were that smart. Oh, he was blaming himself. Their strategies were simple but effective. That means someone led the charge and controlled them. I had the same feeling. They were a little too coordinated. I didn't like the idea of being stalked. I wasn't picking up on anything else either. Did you feel that? The smell of blood is going down. Are they running away? Cowards. Barely downed 4. They could be grouping inside the basement, so stay vigilant. The crocodile glanced over at me, somewhat worried about my appearance and bloody nose. I'd like to scout ahead. Could you wait for me here? I violently shook my head in response. That was a no-brainer, a terrible suggestion. I don't want to wait here all by myself. That was just the biggest concern, but I had many more points ready to list. What if another cultist shows up? What am I going to do? You saw how the first fight went. I just didn't have it in me. That was why I wanted to be invisible, to avoid being targeted and hide inside that closet. They won't. They seem to be running away now, but I need to make sure about it. I'd rather not drag you along and have you fail again. You're safer here, away from the fight. And if anything should show up, run. You'll run into me almost immediately. I hated how that was enough to convince me. I just didn't want to be another obstacle for him. Fine. You've got that thing in your brain. They didn't catch you by surprise, remember? Yeah. Dylan gave me a brief smile. I believed he was relieved that I agreed with him. I was such an idiot for finding comfort in something that I was reading the wrong way. They ventured deeper into the hallway that looked never-ending, until I couldn't discern them anymore through the darkness. I walked next to the wall, near a broken window, and waited. It reminded me of what Blake wanted to do earlier, climbing out of the castle through the windows. The castle was completely engulfed by this thick fog, a smokescreen so big I worried how powerful that rock slide must have been. It didn't look safe to me, and I hoped that when Blake saw it, he would think the exact same thing. Liam did tell us not to try, and that it would have been a waste of time. Were we trapped in here then? I was getting homesick. I wanted to go home. Someone tapped my shoulder and I jumped on the spot, only for Dylan to laugh again. You're so fucking tense. Why come here if you're gonna lose your shit easily? And you're too desensitized. How much have you actually seen that you stopped feeling? I can't say. This has been my life for as long as I can remember. I could feel a longing for something. Maybe he attempted to reach for a memory that didn't exist anymore. I don't know if I ever felt the way you do. This saddened me. The way he nonchalantly delivered it to me also contributed to that. He didn't have the capacity to relate to others because it was taken away from him. Do you think Blake tried climbing down? I shrugged, but it seemed plausible to me. I wish I could have seen the face he made when he realized that we can't escape. That was the most Liam smile I've seen. You can't? The curse is active, and the only exit is the crushed gate we used before. You know, the one blocked by the boulder. Then that rock slide wasn't an accident. Are we stuck here until you finish the job? There are other ways to get out, but destroying the curse itself is the easiest method. I personally wanted this to be over already, but I'd clench my teeth and see it through to the end. What about the basement? No clue. I found it, but I haven't stepped in yet. I can't just leave you and explore on my own. That would have been more flattering if you didn't tell me earlier about the importance of traveling in pairs. The ghost also left after showing me where the basement is. It's just the two of us now. The ghost is right there, Dylan. Shut the hell up. I see. That place. We've only been here for like a few minutes yesterday, yet that was enough to send chills down my spine. There was blood on the floor near the entrance, but the cultists didn't have any. Looking out was giving my head more reasons to inject more pain into me. The basement gave me a migraine so strong, it couldn't compare to those silly headaches those ghosts gave me tonight. Oops, coding error. Hang on. Damn, don't got access to it. Lug, I'm pretty sure there's 7 routes. Like, am I wrong? I think there's 7 routes. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think there's 7, because there's, Oh, thank you. I didn't feel like counting. basement gave me a migraine so strong it couldn't compare to those silly headaches those ghosts gave me tonight. Oh, thank you, cats. They were child's play. He opened the door, and when that stale oxygen turned my nostrils, I knew things were only going to get worse. Those steps were small, tight, and slippery. One wrong move, and it would be a ticket straight to hell. No cultists needed. Aw, yay. I love Disney Fast Passes straight to hell. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite activity right behind this and watching cartoons that I'm definitely too old for. Those steps were, yeah, I already read that. Dylan pulled out a flashlight from his bag and pointed it down. Thanks. In a matter of seconds, my head began pulsing with the pain I struggled to put into words. Countless warnings were triggered in my mind all at the same time, so many I couldn't focus on anything anymore. My entire body was trying to fight and withstand it, but that wasn't possible. I slipped because my vision got blurry and I missed a step. My body dropped onto Dylan, but thankfully he held us both. Yeah, it's that bad. I can't move. Dylan sat me down and handed me a bottle. Have I seen this before? I was too disoriented to make out anything in it. Hurry and drink. That should ease the pain for a little while. I struggled to even raise my hand to bring the bottle to my face. What was happening to me? My body felt so weak and every muscle just went numb. I couldn't... I said drink! Dylan forced the bottle in my throat and my reflexes got me to swallow just to avoid drowning myself with water. It only took a couple of gulps for my body to regain its motor functions and I managed to grab it off his hands. Enough! I coughed. Some of the water entered the wrong pipe. All of it or you won't last here. I appreciated the help, but his manners were so harsh, he almost got me to swallow the bottle, too. I'm pretty sure that's holy water, not something else, cats. Go. Fine, okay. I can feel their leader nearby and they're not alone. This will be a tough battle and I want you to get ready to run. What? You have to be aware of this scenario because you won't listen to me right away. You say it so casually. It won't break my heart if you do that. Cats, you need some holy water yourself. That wasn't a fun joke to make. We're still sticking together. I need intel first, so I gotta check their numbers, and their weapons and overall strength. I won't be able to protect you if an army shows up. You can't even hold a sword. But the pairs. He quickly cut me off, raising his voice like he always did. Screw that! If we die together alone, what difference will that make? That was the first time I've truly seen him angry tonight. I realized that he looked more at peace here than in the real world. I'm taking the option with the biggest chance of us surviving. He was looking out for us both. I understood that, but I still wasn't satisfied with this outcome. Both choices sucked. I don't like this. Can't we find another way? Is this really our only option to break the curse? Where is Liam anyway? What is he doing in the meantime? I dragged every possible questions I had left in my mind and threw them at him, hoping that something would stick. Dylan calmed down, sighed, and walked closer. Listen, I don't have time to explain everything to you right now. His manners softened, and he spoke gently, being understanding of my feelings. Something I've never seen him do before. Turning back also means dying, and I at least want the freedom to choose how I'm going out. He lied to me. I will stay here and fight. I won't run away so that people like you can. He was capable of understanding my feelings all along. Running might be something cowards do, but it's not a bad choice sometimes. It can also lead to a better future. He didn't think he could. Maybe he forgot how, but he knew how I've always felt just now. I'm proud of who I am, even if I suck. This is a life I was given, and I will use it well. Understood? I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say either. It felt like he already knew everything. Danganronpa passwording corpse party. I've never heard of... Oh, I think I might have heard of Corpse Party. Sometimes my sister has played Danganronpa. And, well, we've played Password on the channel. Nah, shit. I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say either. Felt like he already knew everything. Maybe he was referring to himself, and it happened to match my situation. But I'd never have that answer. Promise me that everything will be okay. I'll do what you say. I just need you to tell me that. Everything will be fine. You said that so perfectly, Haya. Just like when I watched you fight. No hesitation. You were confident. You wanted to live. We marched on and reached the end of what felt like a bottomless pit of darkness. It was pitch black, completely devoid of any light except the flashlight Dylan was holding. My headache was still there. It never really left, but I could tolerate it now. The crocodile stopped speaking as we slowly moved into that nothingness. The world was being created as we advanced. Anything that wasn't hit by the light didn't exist. There was just the void. So much of it that I was afraid of falling because I couldn't see the floor. Okay. Dylan was slowly moving forward, trying to make little to no noise. He wasn't acting arrogant anymore. He knew this was serious. I'm hoping to find the leader and kill him first. Taking out the brains first was the smartest way to go about it. A puppet needed someone to move its strings to be useful. What you're trying to do is meaningless. A deep voice rumbled across the basement. My heart skipped a beat and the headache increased. You've set foot in my domain, and I have eyes everywhere. You can't hide. Every fiber of my being was screaming to take Dylan and leave immediately. God damn it! Dylan quickly pushed me to the ground and placed himself in front, trying to take all the attention away from me. Hold my flashlight pointed at the ceiling! Cultists simply surrounded us, making it impossible for him to face all four directions. I rarely get to play like this. So let's take our time, shall we? This wasn't a game, for fuck's sake! Don't get sad if your toys break. I won't take responsibility. The voice released a distorted laugh, and its echo hurt my ears. Was this the ghost Dylan wanted to hunt yesterday? Your actions better entertain me the same way your words do, little man. I couldn't see very well, but I heard metal clashing, people moving and kicking, and Dylan's screams filling the void. Fuck! I heard cutting followed by grunts of pain. Dylan! I wanted to get up and do something, but he pushed me down again. Don't move! Not until I say so! I knew what was happening. I was being targeted on purpose. They were forcing Dylan to protect me and hurt himself in the process. Is that all? You're going to leave me so disappointed. Don't fuck with me! Metal hit the ground. Did he manage to get them? He was breathing heavily. We're seeing some progress. It took you long enough. Let's continue, sinner. I heard more footsteps and I couldn't help thinking about how fucked up this situation was. Dylan wanted either Blake or Ryan for his exploration, and I found out why a little too late. Too afraid of showing your face? Gonna let your stupid dolls do all the dirty work? You don't have what it takes to face me. Dylan! Blood. They hit him. I could see it dripping down his pants, slowly soaking them into crimson, then hitting the ground when they couldn't absorb more. I'm okay! His right arm went limp. Before his hand would let go of the knife, he grabbed it with the other. You're going to die here. Dylan didn't answer, so I stood up again and tried nudging him, wanting to change his mind. This needed to stop. We could still salvage this, but he had to. I'm going to open a path back to that staircase. When I give the signal, you run. Don't you fucking dare say anything. You're doing this. When the other arm also breaks, will you fight with your mouth? Dylan grinned as he recklessly charged into the trio. He couldn't block everything he wanted to, and was forced to let them hit him. Dylan avoided lethal damage, protecting his vitals, but the wounds racked up and the suffering he was going through traumatized me. I was completely paralyzed, scared of trying because I didn't want to end up like him. I wanted to live, I wanted to live, I wanted to live. But if he were to die, what would happen to me? I didn't want to die! Since when did I become so selfish? Then he managed to shove them all away. Go! Leave! We gave each other one last look, knowing full well that was going to be the last time. I was already in tears by this point, the guilt completely overwhelming me. He could have abandoned me at any point, exactly like I believed he would, since that was what he claimed. But he didn't. He didn't leave me behind. I began running, a little smile formed in the corners of his mouth. He liked when I followed his orders, regardless of the outcome. My grip tightened on that flashlight, clinging to it because my life depended on it. I could feel them following me, but I couldn't turn back nor stop running, or they would catch me. They were armed and all I had was this light. They were blocking the path, sitting there and waiting for me to arrive. I didn't have time to think about a strategy. I had to barge through. They weren't holding any weapons, so maybe this would work. They were shielding the staircase, using their own bodies like a barrier. I was a small guy with not enough weight to break through. I clenched the flashlight in my hand and smacked it on his face. He stumbled backwards, and because of that, I managed to sneak past. Only for the other guy to catch my leg to make me fall so the others could catch up to me. Let me go, you bastard! I used the other leg to kick him away and set myself free. I scrambled to get up and resume my escape. I was there just a little more. Suddenly, something sent me flying and I fell back into the void I desperately wanted to run away from. It was so strong, like a tornado. I knew that was it. The moment I'd hit the floor, my life would stop forever. I felt so much regret knowing that I had failed at everything Dylan asked me to do. Not only did I get him killed, but now I was about to waste the opportunity he gave me. Why was life so adamant in torturing us? Why did we never get a break? Why did I always... I slowly opened my eyes as I regained consciousness. I grabbed my head. It felt heavy, numb, still throbbing. My blurry vision soon adjusted to the moonlight hitting me through that broken window I'd seen earlier. Clear images, vivid colors, a steady stream of air coming in and out through my nostrils. I was alive? I found myself laying on the floor in the middle of the hallway, completely alone. This didn't feel right. My mind flashed back to my supposedly last moments and I clearly remember falling. I fell. Someone shoved me. I was supposed to be dead. Did Dylan save me somehow? Where was he? If he actually saved me, then he shouldn't have gone far. I was sitting in front of a slightly open door, clearly a clue for me. Dylan could be waiting for me on the other side, doing more stuff he didn't want me to see. I pushed myself up an inch closer. The door creaked as it slowly opened wide and I walked through. Then I saw him. I saw him! I screamed like I had never thought I could. He was chained against the pillars, blood slowly pouring from his body and a lifeless look in his eyes. This wasn't real. This couldn't be happening. Is someone like him dead? I reached for his cold, lifeless body, unable to believe what I was seeing. I could feel my insides twisting, spinning, causing pain and nausea. I grabbed him, hoping that would magically bring him back to life, seeing him be at mercy of my strength, yet reacting only to gravity. It broke me. Why did this happen? You said everything would be fine. You promised me that leaving you behind was the right thing to do. I fell to my knees, wailing uncontrollably. This was the ultimate punishment for having taken this most selfish of choices. Liar. This is not fine at all. The door slammed shut, leaving me alone, drowning in that darkness, completely alone. I couldn't beg for help because nobody was going to save me. His corpse, now towering over me, was the only witness left in these last moments I had alive. What a cruel joke, making me believe that he rescued me, only to show me his dead body before finishing the job. Laughter filled the room and tons of footsteps surrounded me. I knew what was going to happen, and I hated how these people took everything away from me. What? My one last wish was for Ryan to never find whatever's left of us when they're done. I felt someone's hand touching me, but their touch wasn't gentle at all. It was harsh, and the way they were holding my shoulders was very tight, so much so that it hurt. I could recognize that kind of grip anywhere. He really needed to be less rough with. Wake the fuck up! He was now holding me with both hands, shaking me even faster than before. Okay, enough! I'm here! He grunted in response and dropped me. What was I doing? I looked around and saw almost everyone, except Ryan. I remembered. He had just left to chase after Blake. Did it happen just now? I held my head, feeling slightly disoriented and a little dizzy. Are you done sulking? Going to leave without you if not. Just a second. I feel weird. His expression quickly changed into surprise as he charged back to me. I really didn't need another shaking session. Liam! He grabbed my wrist and pointed at the Lynx, who now shared the same shocked expression Dylan had a few moments ago. Do you mind letting me go? It's getting uncomfortable now.
Yeah, I see it.
Liam gave Patrice one look inside, then pushed both me and Dylan into the hallway. Do you guys mind telling me what's going on?
You have more explaining to do than us. When did you get that?
I gave him another confused stare and he eyed my wrist again. I reluctantly raised my arm to see what was so weird about it and found a strange black circle around it. What is this? It felt like ink at first, so I simply attempted to rub it off without success.
Don't waste your time, you can't remove it.
Why do you have a cursed mark on your wrist? What? I didn't get it. Was it just a stupid tattoo? I would have remembered getting one, though.
He doesn't seem to know either, which is strange. You can't forget a deal.
He isn't a medium yet. Joel shouldn't be capable of striking deals.
What if we were wrong? We assumed Joel had yet to awaken, but look at all the clues we have and the answer becomes clear.
Fuck, is this a seal?
I thought the same. If he's sealed, things would make more sense.
When do I get the explanation for normal people?
It's simple. You were already a medium to begin with, but used a seal on yourself to disable your powers.
Impossible. I have no memory of this. He's right. Joel would have told us about it already. You also need the medium's consent to create a seal.
I get it. There's still some mysteries about Joel, but you know I'm right. Trying to use your powers while the seal was active must have caused many problems. Some of which you experience daily. Was he referring to my body acting up? I wonder if I was getting tired too fast. Only believed your theory because his soul seemed damaged. They were using medium terminology I didn't fully understand. But who would want that seal removed? And what kind of exchange can cause memory loss? I'm also quite certain Joel didn't have that brand while we were traveling. How did it happen so fast that nobody noticed?
Enough! You're making too much noise.
The easiest solution would be to jog his memory and have Joel himself tell us.
I didn't believe this. It all sounded so crazy, like those conspiracy theories you'd read on the internet. And how do I do that? But I played along. It seemed interesting, and I kind of liked having an important role all of a sudden.
Explore and find out.
The most disappointing answer I've ever heard. I'm tired of discussing this anyway. I sighed. These two were the real headaches here. I wasn't going to get any answers from them, since it looked like all the work has to be done by me. I'll see you two later. I wanted to acknowledge the eavesdropping Russell listening to this weird conversation in silence. I was sure he'd be more confused than me. So, what are we doing again? Dylan huffed and ignored my question. Guess it was kind of my fault for not paying attention, but I don't know. That didn't sound like me. Some random pictures of us exploring the castle began surfacing in my mind, but they didn't give me enough context. We were supposed to let Ryan know about the time limit. Oh my god, yeah, that thing! I did get that message. I want to stop a bit for the ads. Want to break from the ads? Do your no ads dance, cats. Oh my god, yeah, that thing. I did get that message. It'd be nice, but we won't find them now. Not after wasting so much fucking time, we won't. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Dylan stopped and gave me one probing look, surprised by my confidence. Those words left my mouth completely on their own. I'd never experienced something like that before. Why did I say that? Isn't that bad? I should be more worried about them. I don't really care, but you'd spare me the trouble of calming you down this way. It's nice that you'd actually go through the trouble. I appreciate it. Whatever. Hurry or I'm leaving you behind. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is Dylan a tsundere? Is he gonna call us an idiot? He's all flustered and he's gonna call us an idiot? And then be all like, ah. He resumed walking, slightly faster than normal. I chuckled. Was that the only thing capable of making him run away? That was a serious question. Is he actually tsundere? Stepping back into the lounge only increased the weirdness I was experiencing. The map is useless, don't bother. I did that again, which only frustrated him more. You seem to know everything already, so why don't you share something I don't know instead? Him cracking his knuckles sent chills down my spine. What was wrong with me tonight? I should have followed his advice and stayed quiet, but a strange presence took that away from me as I stared at the ceiling. Does that count? Dylan followed my lead and caught up with what I was trying to convey. He dug through his pockets and I interrupted him before his plan would be set in motion. He isn't aggressive. Dylan was still processing what I just said to him, then I stumbled away just as shocked. Is this a premonition? I don't know. This is freaking me out. He brushed me off and continued staring upward. If Joel's right, then show yourself. I'm putting my knives away. I could feel that he meant that. Somehow I was able to understand people's intentions. My thoughts were taken away by that presence. Now much stronger. As it got closer to us, it moved downward. We're going to leave off here tonight. I am trying to figure out what their, what their different archetypes are. What their anime archetypes are. Yandere. Ryan. I'm pretty sure Ryan is a yandere. Yeah, pretty sure Ryan is a yandere. Dylan is a tsundere. Have you seen how Ryan acts? I'm sorry, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. Actually, hang on. I have to know. Anime... Archetypes. Right there. Right here. The Dere archetypes. Okay. Tsundere is Dylan, obviously. I mean, come on. Fucker looks like he's about to call us Baka. Yandere archetypes are extremely shy and quiet. They can get nervous easily when interacting with others, and they will hide when feeling embarrassed. They tend to have social anxiety and will only talk when called upon. When alone with the person they like, Yandere characters will act sweet and will slowly open up. Some prime characters are Sadako Kuronuma from Kimi ni Todoke and Shin-A from Yona of the Dawn. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's Clyde. Tsundere, Ryan, Kudere. Gonna be a bit cold and blunt to others. And have a Russell. Dere. The lovey-dovey character, an overly optimistic and energetic person who is best friends with practically Patrice. I didn't! I'm gonna have to figure that out. Patrice is the Dere. Hime Dere. Royalty archetypes. Both of these are... I'm gonna have to figure this out later. Well, I'm gonna figure this out later, so... Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.